Well, yesterday I was riding my motorcycle. Today I'm skiing. Does that mean I was freezing my nads off while I was riding my motorcycle? No, because I rode down the Front Range and it was 72 degrees. And that's one of the things that I love about an area like Colorado, is how much season is influenced by altitude. And down in Golden, the trees are starting to bud out. And you can see flowers starting to pop out of the leaf mold. And up here, oh, look, ski season's still full on. Let's go down to like 5,800 feet in the Front Range and see what's going on there. And to think, just earlier today, I was skiing. So that was kind of cool. Quite a difference from what's going on up here. Because after all that lazing around in springtime conditions, I can come up here and extend my ski season. Yeah, we're skiing. Well, let's think about this for a moment. Why is it so much warmer in the Front Range than it is up in the mountains? Well, the obvious reason is that, well, you're at higher altitudes and it's always cooler at higher altitudes. But, when you see temperature differentials of, 40, 50 degrees, it makes you wonder, because the standard lapse rate, and we'll have to explain what a lapse rate is, but it's just the cooling per 1,000 feet as you go up in the atmosphere, tends to be 2 to 3 degrees. So the change between the Front Range and the mountains should be 12, 18 degrees, and yet a lot of times you're seeing closer to 40, maybe even 50. Well, here's part of it. Take a look around. The whole world up here is still covered with snow. And what difference does that make? Well, let's do this. I brought with me 2 heat sensors. There's one, there's another one. We'll put one over here and see how much heat is retained by the snow. Okay, that's like really cold. All right, let's use my other heat sensor, this one right here, and put it on this asphalt. Yep, there we go. That's warm. That's toasty warm. Which is another big reason, is once the Front Range, which never gets as much snow, loses its snow, all this heat from the sun heats up the ground, and the ground retains that heat and keeps it. Where here, the snow, it just reflects it right back off. And the sun, as much as some people want to go, oh, solar heating, that's not much. Oh yeah, it only powers the entire ecosystem for the planet. But it's on the order of 3,000 watts per square yard. So let's just look at that driveway. How many thousands? I mean, there's 3,000. There's another 3,000 watts over here. There's another 3,000 watts over here. There's another 3,000 watts. I mean, there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of watts probably just being absorbed by this driveway itself. Make you think, doesn't it? So how low do I have to go to find spring? Well, a hell of a lot lower than this 12,000 feet. So come on, we'll get in the car, find out where spring begins. Well, it's a start here at 9,000 feet, but you can see there's still plenty of snow on the north-facing slopes. However, when we look over here to the south-facing slopes, the sun has burnt all the snow away. So let's get back in the car and go even lower. Here at 7,000 feet, you could almost convince yourself that winter is gone for good. Except for here I am on one of my favorite bike trails. As you can see, still covered with snow and ice. Because it's all about that direct high altitude sun hitting the ground and warming things up. This part of the trail is all in shadow, so winter's clinging on right here. Okay. Although it's spring most places, it looks like there's still snow on one of my favorite bike trails. Thank goodness, in the meanwhile, I can just go ski some more. And these majestic mountains, all filled with snow, will soon be bare. And at that point, where the hell does all that snow go? Well, after a 60-mile journey right here in this creek, which when it finally gets here, we'll be kayaking through here. And kids will be going down the air tubes and all sorts of fun will be getting on, you know, when it's 90 degrees. Right now, however, it's still a bit cool, and as you can see, the water hasn't covered up all these rocks. It would be a very bumpy ride at this point. Okay, so the river isn't quite ready to run yet. It will be soon. In the meanwhile, what am I doing? Going skiing. And here we are back down at 5,500 feet on the Front Range. And what do we find? But the new bloom of spring just starting to bud out on the trees and the bushes. Nonetheless, for how much I enjoyed that little taste of spring, I'm still not quite ready to relinquish the ski season. So I'm back on the lift for a few more runs. All right, so let's ski. Woohoo!